Hello everybody. I know, I said I wouldn't do a final update part 3, but I'm still not hired, so here we are. Also, I wanted to do something a little special for this game's 2-year anniversary. You heard it right, this game has existed for 2 whole years. Time really flies. But let's just get straight into the concepts, starting with the highlight of this update, Velocity Run. Velocity Run is an obby map, but there's a twist. Your normal moveset has been replaced with dashes. Instead of holding W to continuously move forward, you can only press W to quickly dash forward. There is also mobile/gamepad compatibility by pressing the buttons or the D-pad. There are 5 levels you must complete: Grassy Hills, Desert Dunes, Icy Tundra, Cave of Wonders, and Volcano of Death. I'm honestly expecting to receive a few more dislikes on this game because that's just how challenging the map is. Do it at your own risk. You might be wondering why specifically I did this for the anniversary. That's because once you complete all 5 levels, you are rewarded with the Velocity Block. This map is sort of a demonstration of what the Velocity Block does, which we'll get into right now. The Velocity Block applies a force to whoever activates it. The default settings will dash you similarly to the Velocity Run map. There's a short tutorial section at the end of this map that shows you how to make a dash system, a fan block, and even a mid-round flying system. There's also a detailed description of the settings in that section, which I won't go over in this video since it would take a pretty long time. A quick hidden feature of the Velocity Block that isn't mentioned in the tutorial section is that you can link an object touch trigger to it to apply the velocity to that object. Shout out to Thatanegwian Internet, Thescoutfront22, Thefunnymangui, Hire1234, Manny009248, Svideradinova 9835, and Alfie15788 for suggesting this concept. Overall, there's a lot of stuff you can do with the Velocity Block that may even deserve its own video, but let's just move on to the next block, the State Changer block. Instead of the State Changer, I should have called it the Game Changer because of how useful this next block is. Basically, it forces an action onto whoever activates it. The actions are sit, jump, ragdoll, stun, toggle crouch, force crouch, and force uncrouch. The crouch settings will work even if you don't have crouching enabled for the map. For the ragdoll setting, you can set the duration of how long the player ragdolls for before getting back up. For the stun setting, you can set the duration of the stun as well as whether it displays a timer that shows how much time is left. Using the ragdoll setting, you can create a ragdoll death system by linking a not gate to an advanced modify gate to an advanced state if gate that checks if the health is less than or equal to 0 to a state changer block. This was suggested by blue_purple_lucky_colors, Mr_Ambrosius, Thunderclouds20, Hire1234, Hollowbreak12, Thefunnymangui, Manny009248, Bigstar0766, Michael123F4, Schmaker123454461, Debbie.Skev, Thunko191, and Mickey Mackie Bobo. Our next concept is not a new block, but rather a new setting to the prompt trigger, prompt style. You can set this to 4 styles: default, book 2, decay, and intercity. The next concept is a new setting to all 4 if gates, continuously checking. As of now, the if gate continuously turns on and off if the conditions change while it's powered. Using this state if gate, if we set it to is moving, then as you can see, while the gate is activated, it will turn on as I'm moving and turn off when I stop moving. However, if we disable continuously checking, the if gate will retain the conditions checked from whenever it was powered. So basically nothing changes even if I start/stop moving while the gate is already powered. I believe that this is how the gate originally worked in official build mode. The next concept is 2 new settings to the if gate, is on keyboard, and is on gamepad. This can be helpful if you want to make mobile-only UI. Simply link a not gate to an advanced modify gate to an advanced if gate with logic set to not, and enable these 2 settings and link that to the UI. These settings were suggested by Noobwatch, PG56, Vanessa Facina PWT, Purple Dragonk, and Hess Nomura here. Next up, we have 2 new settings to the state if gate, is ragdolled and is seated. These are both pretty self-explanatory. Is ragdolled will activate when a ragdoll state changer block ragdolls the player. Is seated will activate the same way or when you sit on a sit block or sit trigger. The next concept is the Hitbox Gate. To put it simply, whoever activates it gets a hitbox applied to them, which you can customize. You can set the size, the offset, and the color, material, and transparency. You can also set the cooldown, which also acts as activation length. This gate will send a signal whenever another player or NPC touches the hitbox. So if you link the Hitbox Gate to a health config, whoever touches it will die. You may notice that there is no affects infected/survivor setting, which you can fix by simply linking the gate to an advanced if gate. The reason you don't want a regular if gate is because the Hitbox Gate is an advanced link, it holds multiple players' data at once. One hitbox can't hold multiple players' data at once, but if 2 players activate the Hitbox Gate, then there will be 2 hitboxes to account player data for. You can also apply hitboxes to NPCs. Now, a current problem with NPCs is that as long as the player is moving, NPCs cannot actually catch that player if it's moving in the same direction as the player. This is because the AI pathfinding goes to the position that the player last was. A fix to this is just using the dumb enemy behavior, since that doesn't use AI pathfinding. But what if you still wanted to pathfind and catch the player? Well, you can use the Hitbox Gate and Velocity block to do that. Link a touch trigger to a Hitbox Gate to a modified gate to N and gate to a Velocity block. Then link the touch trigger to the N gate. As you can see, now the Piggy can actually boost itself towards the player if it's close enough. In-game, you probably want to make the hitbox invisible to catch the players off guard, unless you want them to see the hitbox. Shout out to GenderShot6 and Jmaker123454461 for suggesting this concept. Next up, we have the puzzle from Piggy Book 2 Chapter 12, Lab. The panel is in links and the levers are in events. If we set the code to random, it will pick 3 squares on a 9-square grid, just like in Piggy. To complete it, simply pull the corresponding levers. For random codes, you can set the minimum and maximum digit amount. Also, the lab panel is of course a link source that sends a signal when the puzzle is completed. But not only is the lab panel a source, it's powerable itself. In the real map, the code only shows once you pull the auxiliary power lever, so similarly, you can link whatever you want to this panel. If there's nothing linked to it, it will be on by default as you saw earlier. Unpowering and repowering this panel will reset the code if it's set to be random. Like all other puzzle codes in this game, you can turn code as random, so you could manually choose the pattern. I'm going to choose all odd numbers, which should create a checkered pattern. Shout out to Detected_Dead, Broody Daily, Tricky Phase 37, Mason Mercado, SEC 831, Mudzin and Mudzini 5308, and Roblox Lover 1986 for suggesting this concept. Shout out to Mason Mercado specifically since he's been really adamant about this. Anyways, next up, we have a few more basic blocks. First, we got the ring. This is basically a donut, but there's something special here, you can change the whole radius. After too much geometry for my poor brain, it's here. It's of course paintable and resizable. Next, we got the quarter ring, which is arguably more useful than the ring. The reason why I say it's more useful is because you can connect cylinders like this. Technically you can kind of use the smooth cylinder corner for this, but if you look carefully, the quarter ring has a smoother turn. Next, we have the quarter tube. Using this, you can make more square pipes with turns in them. Not sure exactly what you would need this for, but it's here when you need it. Setting the radius to 0 will basically make this a quarter cylinder. Remember the ramp from a few videos ago? Well, I noticed I added a concave ramp but never a corner ramp. Now here we are. You can connect 2 ramps using a corner ramp or a round corner ramp. Now, what if you also want to connect wedges? I know that the corner wedge is already in the game, but what if you wanted it to be more smooth? Introducing the tetrahedron. Shout out to LocoMinecraft Motion and Thunderclouds20 for suggesting these. Next up we have something a little interesting, the warp block. The warp block is kind of like a mirror block, except it's actually possible in Roblox. It's not accurate at all, but it does give a very cool warped reflective effect. You can change the shape of this block to a block, ball, cylinder, wedge, or corner wedge. Shout out to Nuberty, Goofius1084, Bigstar0766, and Kabua2834 for suggesting this. Next up, we have the Traitor Gun, except there's a damage setting. On infected NPCs, it works the same as a regular gun, but on friendly NPCs and other players, it will damage them by the specified amount. For friendly NPCs, make sure Ignored by Enemy is off, or else they will be immune to the shots. Anyways, the next feature is a new config menu, Manage Skyboxes. You can create your own custom skyboxes by setting images for all 6 sides and the sun and the moon. You can also set some atmosphere settings and colors. Once you finish with a skybox, you can apply it in the game settings or through the settings block. There are a lot of people who suggested this, so wish me luck as I read the names. Shout out to Jeff2VH, DebbieDustDev, Joe Biden 0590, Real_Dacris, Noel214Z, Manny009248, Duanora13, Mercartunrat, Stephophobia, Mr. Man 1, Traymanch29, and Kiraman_ILB. The next concept is very similar. Manage lighting presets, config menu. People have requested advanced lighting options, so now you can change things like the ambient color as well as different types of exposure and a lot more. You can set these through the game settings menu or a new block, the game lighting block. Don't let the name fool you, since it behaves nothing like the game lighting block in official build mode. It just simply sets the lighting to a preset of your choice with the option of changing it smoothly and or locally, per player. Shout out to Traymanch29 and Kabua2834 for this concept. Next up we have 2 new features to patrol points. The first feature is that they are now linkable. As you can see, the patrolling Piggy cannot access these other patrol points on the right until I power them. Pretty cool, right? The next feature is that you can now link NPC spawns to the patrol points to restrict its path to only those patrol points. If an NPC spawn is linked to nothing, it will still be able to access all patrol points like normal though. Combining these two features, you can basically have a powered walk to point. Link the NPC spawn to only the points you want it to walk to and power those same points whenever you want the NPC to go to them. This was suggested by Hunt708, Josh Joe, IQ4WQ, Damon with Brain, Human_Sushi, ColdCatButter13, Kidami9974, Debbie_Dev, Mr_Ambrosius, Purple Dragount, Has No More Here, RobinHoodWest0832, /Redude, and Faceless_PiggyFan1. Really quick, I'm not gonna show this, but I added a footsteps setting to the NPC spawn block that just disables the footstep sound, requested by Alman. The next concept might be my favorite feature of this update. Have you ever placed a model and just groaned because it placed as many separate blocks and moving/rotating the model would be a nightmare? Well now, you can group them by simply toggling the Group Models button in the top right of the Saved Category menu. Then, once you place it, it places as one block that you can easily move, rotate, and delete. Grouped models with links in them will still work properly when the game starts. And if you ever want to ungroup a model, you can simply press the Ungroup button on the bottom left to convert it back into separate blocks. Shout out to Pancake_Iskle, Thunkla191, Buglet_1s, Cloud Skies 12, Fishy Slough, and the Independent Multiverse for suggesting this concept. Also, in case you haven't noticed throughout the video, settings pop-ups can now be enlarged to make it easier to change settings. This won't work on all devices though. The penultimate concept of this video is a Remind Me Later button on the voting menu. If you ever joined a map right as the round ended and you didn't get to experience it, instead of giving it an inaccurate rating, you can just press this to be reminded after the next round. This concept was suggested by Hire1234. As the final concept, I am very happy to announce that the custom creator revamps are out. The character creator has two new assets, light and particle blocks. Also, for legacy NPCs, you can now type a bundle ID. The custom item creator now has those same two new blocks as well as a slightly improved toolbar preview viewer. The custom animation creator doesn't have any new content, just slightly new UI and new handles. And those are all the concepts. Before I end the video though, I do want to show some appreciation to Panman and many others for setting a Hire Curly Friday image as the thumbnail for their maps. It really means a lot to me. Also, huge shout out to Goose and Advinia for making art for the 2nd anniversary. I love these so much, they look super awesome. And that's it. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope you enjoy Velocity Run and this update as a whole, and thank you guys so much for making these 2 years very very special. It's possible there may be another major update after this if I'm still not hired, but let's hope not. If you enjoyed this video, it would mean a lot to me if you liked and subscribed. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.